Hello guys, and welcome to my short tutorial on the Cook in the Books online-based software. So, as an overview, this software is basically called a kitchen manager. It helps on all aspects of controlling your revenue, your food costs, your wastage material, your stock taking at the end of each month. So when set up fully, it'll really chew all the details of the period, whatever time period you want, and give you normally in a percentage form a report of profit and loss. So this is the home page here. As you can see, Poker Republic is the name of the venue I work for. It's up here. If I click, I've got two breakdown tabs, which are food and beverage. In this tutorial, we'll be working on the food aspect of it. Won't go too much into the beverage since that's not my domain. But in the future, when you replicate your business, this basically expands and other tabs are created. So your one big venue that has multiple openings, and you can control everything from this same software. So it's quite good in that regard. Here we've got the revenue. We haven't got any purchases because we haven't been putting the invoices through yet. So we are in the process of changing the menu and adjusting a few things. Therefore, not everything is set up at this stage, but I will still be able to provide a pretty good overview on some of the tools. So here we'll have your top spent items, so everything that you're buying in, which gives you an idea of what's your popular selling items and things that you maybe need to work on pricing with your suppliers. If we were doing the invoices, they would be here, and the ordering would be here as well. So here's our sales report. This is a day-to-day report on how much you've sold. Here we have been closed down, so this week there's nothing there. If I go through weeks before, we've got the food cost live. So again, we haven't fully set up this this tool yet, so we won't be able to have a real reading on any of that. All right, so if we go into stock and stock maintenance, this is where majority of the work happens. Here you have all your suppliers. So I've got, as you can see, quite a few of them. For the sake of this presentation, I will be working with Marcus Wholesale Foods, which is one of our main suppliers. So everything is itemized here. Every item has a name, a cost, an amount, and a unit. And this will be very important later on when we are creating recipes, because if you're using liters or kilograms, you will have to adjust other than using milliliters or each or grams, as you can see here. So you do have to pay attention to that when creating a recipe. I could create a new item here. I won't do that, but I think you can. So some suppliers, you will have GST added to it. So if that's the case, you can click here and it'll do it automatically for you. The item is active, you can change that. Your food it's active for your food cost, and if you have a locked-in price, you can also adjust that here. But that's not the case in my business. A lot of things are constantly changing. And here is the stock take, which we've done one. won't be going into too much detail on this, but it's very important for your end of month reading since it gives you an idea of what you've got in stock at the moment. So of course it'll decrement that from your purchases for that month, and then you'll be able to work out exactly how much you've made based upon what you sowed. And yeah, without counting the stock that you've got currently in house. Your invoices would be here if you were to be putting them through. You add them in, that decrements from your budget, and you can set that to whatever number you want. And again, it helps you control how much you're spending every week and where you're buying from and who you're buying more for. You can do purchase orders and receiving orders through here. We won't be using that. Price updates, of course. Let's jump into recipes. This is probably the most important thing to get accurate for you to have a proper report. So I've got my base recipes. So they are items that are used within the menu recipe. So for a prosciutto pizza, I will need pizza dough and I'll need pizza sauce. Let's have a look at this recipe now. So this is my recipe. It was created by me. I have no pictures yet. You can put your ingredients and your cooking methods. You can also add your dietary requirements for that specific recipe. Our ingredients, so everything that goes into this recipe will have a cost allocated to it. So we use sliced prosciutto, use 60 grams of it, and that equates to $2.64. We use Shaw River Buffalo Mozzarella, use 100 grams of it, and that's $3.92. And then, as I explained previously, I've got my sub-recipes, which are my pizza dough. I use one pizza dough to make that recipe, and it's 37 cents. And I use one portion of pizza sauce. Now, I've worked out in the pizza sauce recipe what one portion is and how many portions one batch made. So I'm using each for this. So this is what I was saying before about the units being very important. Here I'm using grams, here I'm using each. The costing, so you can add your labor in. So anything extra that you need to add to the costing of this recipe that isn't an actual item, you can do through here. You've got your nutritional facts. We're not going to be using this. Equipment list. So there's a lot of other tools here that we won't be using. We're focusing on the costing at this stage. So here is your food cost percentage. So you can adjust this, and basically the lower the food cost you want to have, the higher the price you have to sell for. So this is what it's suggesting us to sell at a 30% food cost. That is what I aim for in my venue. So this is a suggested price. We sell for slightly lower than that because, of course, you have to adjust that depending on the venue that you are. So now I want to go to financial and show the most important thing that you will need to do. Okay, I'm going to pull my sales for the past month. This gives me a breakdown of everything that has gone through the point of sale system. Now my point of sale system I use is Square, and this is fully integrated with it, and it's live. So anything that is sold at the venue goes straight to here. So I can pull a detailed report at the end of every night and see exactly what I've sold. We're going to go and find our prosciutto pizza here. And as you can see, we've already done this item. So it says that it costs us $7.31 to make it. we're selling at $22.50. So in this recipe, which has been allocated to the system, gives us a proper reading of how much we're spending to make it and how much of it we are selling. So in order to do that, I click here, I go link to recipes, and I've got here my recipe folder. So this is all the items that we've sold, and as you can see, my recipe folder is menu recipes, and I could allocate this to any of the recipes that I've got. So we're still working on setting this up at the moment, but this is how the systems will talk to itself. Your point of sale systems will then send a report to Cook in the Books website, and at the end of every night, you will have a reading on your gross profit and all your margins for that night, and the same is done with the bar side of things. Now, as you can see, the prosciutto pizza, it's running at 36.84, which is a little bit higher than what you want, but in a menu overall, you have to balance. Some items will have a lot lower food costs, some will have higher. So even though you want to be at 30% or at 28% or 25%, whichever percentage you want to be in the venue, you will have to balance some items that will be higher and some items that will be lower. So this is not a concern for me. I think I'm selling at a very reasonable price, and as you can see, we're selling quite a bit of it. So 38 the last month. So this is it, guys. This is the basic operations of the Cook in the Books software. Unfortunately, this is not readily available for everyone, as it's a tool used in hospitality. You do have to have a business account with these guys to set it up, but there are many YouTube videos and lots of tutorials that you can look at. And if it interests you for work purpose, then speak to your boss and to your owner. And it's a very, very good tool. And when set up properly, it'll give you a very accurate profit and loss report at the end of each month. And of course, if you're a manager of any sort and you can be on top of your costings and on top of your profits, then you will be able to maybe work on a better deal for yourself. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.